Phoebe has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. I'm rather thrilled, so let's get chatting about her. My name is Juice, and let's get into it. She's here, everyone. She is here. Her splash art looks absolutely beautiful. I love all the echo surrounding her. Really represents how she's able to communicate with them, and she looks so chill, just kind of sitting there reading her book. It's a very, very nice piece of splash art. I have to say, the upgrade in splash art quality from the 1.x era to the 2.x era is so noticeable. It's really such an improvement in art quality. You love to see it. I enjoyed her during the story. She didn't do that much for me, but I did enjoy her presence. She was pleasant to talk to, and I really like the voice direction they took for her. I was expecting something a little bit more high-pitched, but I'm glad that they went for what they went for. It sounds pleasant and unique at the same time. I really like it. I think the design is pretty solid. It's not what I'm typically into. I much prefer the Chang Li and Zoni types. However, I do still think it's a pretty good character design. I like the big hat, I like the thorn crown, and most importantly, I really like that you can tell that she's a part of the Order, and that she shares design elements with them, but she's still distinct. She still feels like her own character. Because I'm sure we're all greatly aware of that one anime trope where it's like, spot the main character, and they stick out like a sore thumb in a crowd of NPCs. I'm glad that Phoebe manages to still blend in while sticking out, if that makes sense. She definitely feels like a 5-star character that's pullable and playable and all, while still very much having a job as part of the Order of the Deep. It's very neat. I will absolutely be pulling for her. I'm just going to be getting S0. I don't know if I'm gonna get her weapon, because I like the character, but I'm not crazy about her. I just think she's cool and that's it. So I will be getting her. I might get the weapon. It completely depends on how much astrites I have at the time. I'm not gonna spend for it. But I will at least try to guarantee the character, but considering how many astrites and freebies that we've been getting from rinascita, there's a high chance that I'll be able to get the weapon anyway, because dang, there's just so many freebies. But yes, I will be settling for a copy at S0. My sights are personally more set on Zani at the minute. I am really excited for her to come out. I can't wait to see her kit and what she does and whatnot. However, I will be picking up Phoebe along the way. Now, when it comes to my personal hopes for what she does, we saw in the story that she controls light with her staff. Now, I like that she uses the staff, because I've seen so many comments saying that they feel like rinascita is a very classical JRPG type of area, and I can agree with that. I kind of get the vibes. So if she uses mage magic, that would be really cool. I would be super into that. The animations would be really, really unlike anything else that we've gotten before. I also think she could work really well as a sword user. I quite enjoy sword users. Chang Li has a brilliant playstyle, so that would be neat. But what's got me curious is that she holds a staff, right? So what weapon type would go with a staff? I'm going to assume Rectifier, but I would personally prefer Sword. We've already gotten quite a few Rectifier 5-stars at this point. We got Joja, we got Shorekeeper, we got Encore as a standard. So I'd be pretty happy to take a departure from Rectifiers for a while and head into something new. A sword user would be really, really cool. I heavily doubt that she's gonna have anything to do with broad blades. I mean, look at her. Does she look like a broad blade user to you? No, I don't think that she will be swinging around a heavy sword. Would it be funny if she did that? Absolutely, but I don't think that they're really going for funny here. Now, something else that I'd like to point out, she uses light magic, and you know what the light element in Wuthering Waves is? Spectro. And you know what echo set that currently doesn't have a new user yet? The Spectro set. So that's got me thinking that she's probably gonna use that set. I mean, I'd be surprised if she wasn't. We can put 2 and 2 together in this situation. I'm pretty sure she's going to. But either way, I'm just thinking, light magic. That's such a cool concept, especially because she's an acolyte. So I'm wondering if she's going to have any abilities or animations related to that. I have to say, Kuro absolutely knocked it out of the park when it came to Carlotta's animations. I really like how she's in that stained glass building during her finale stage. So I'm wondering, with Phoebe, if they manage to execute anything similar to that, are they going to have an animation where she's in a cathedral related to the Order or something like that? So far, the gameplay of the rinascita characters has not disappointed. Carlotta easily has the most fun gameplay out of any character in Wuthering Waves. It's not even close. And even though I personally do not care about Roshia whatsoever, I do think that her gameplay is fun whenever I tried her in the story. So I have high hopes for Phoebe's kit. I have very, very high hopes for it. I doubt that they're going to do something lame with it. I'm also wondering, if she does end up being Spectro, how are they going to handle her kit? Because if she ends up being a DPS, seeing as the Spectro set seems to imply a DPS character will be wearing it, I wonder how they're going to make it so that she doesn't step on the toes of Jinchi, but she doesn't feel underwhelming and like there's no reason to pull for her if you already have a Jinchi. Now I think it's pretty easy to do that, give them vastly different mechanics, and make sure that Phoebe's teammates do not use Jinchi's teammates, because then you can easily use them both in tower because you need 3 teams anyway. Now honestly, if it was up to me, Phoebe would be a support character. She doesn't really give DPS vibes. I know that sounds like nonsense, a character's kit can't have vibes, but you know what I mean. When you look at her, to me, she looks like a support. She gives off support vibes, if you will. And I know that sounds dumb because a kit can't give off vibes, let alone one that we don't even know anything about yet, but to me, she looks like a support. Does that make any sense at all? Does anyone get behind what I'm saying here? Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I checked the Twitter post for Phoebe's drip marketing, and I checked the drip marketing itself multiple times. It doesn't seem to state anywhere that she's Spectro. I'm just guessing because she literally uses light powers, and the Twitter post itself says she weaves together light. Like, come on. But imagine she comes out and she ends up being Fusion or something. So for all we know, there's a chance that she's not even going to use this set because she might not even be Spectro. I don't think it's been confirmed yet. And second of all, it could just be a case that there's a future Spectro character that hasn't been revealed yet that will be using that set. We don't know. My personal hope is that if Phoebe ends up being a main DPS, I really want her to fill a role that no other damage dealer has filled up yet. Because while the game isn't necessarily new anymore, it's still below a year old. There are still plenty of DPS archetypes that Kuro could tap into that we just haven't gotten yet, so I'm very enthusiastic to see where they go with all of this. Also, I know that nobody really cares about this, but listen, I love the royal blue on her outfit so much. I really want her signature weapon to have some sort of royal blue tone to it. Please put that on her weapon. It's such a beautiful color, it really suits her. It's such a nice contrast against the blonde hair, I love it. Let that be a part of her weapon too. Like a nice blue signature sword. Please, it would be beautiful. Now I want to yap a bit about what I hope for her out of the story because I'm personally very interested in the rinascita story. My prediction for her is that she's going to become the new leader of the Order of the Deep, and this is why I think this. Now if anybody's played the story, pause here and go play the story now if you haven't already. It's very, very obvious to see that there's clear corruption in the system, they're trying to keep things from the people of Regana, and they don't want people knowing that there are 2 divines. Phoebe is a very inherently good person. It is clear on her face, it is clear from the way she talks, and it is clear from her very, very devout belief in the Sentinel, and how much she loves her Echo friends and all that. I personally believe that whenever she finds out that the Order is corrupt and there are issues within the organization, she's probably going to step up and try to correct this. Try to lead people into the true light, if you will. Lead people to the true Sentinel, and guide them to what is the right path. She doesn't seem that confrontational to me, so I'm not sure if she's going to have a big confrontation with the Order, but I personally would like to see that. Because here's the thing, she believed something for her whole life, she's so devout to this, and then all of a sudden she finds out that a large part of it is a lie. I'm sure she would be at least a little bit angry, and if not angry, then definitely hurt. So my assumption for her future is that she's gonna rise up, she's gonna take over the Order, and try to lead it in the direction of freedom. Instead of it being this really tight, strict sort of decree, she's going to make it more accepting to other ways of life, which are more, you know, free and unbound and whatnot. Is she gonna end up confronting anyone? I don't know, it doesn't really seem like it's in her nature, but I feel like it would be a very good character moment, and most importantly, it would make a lot of sense. That you cannot tell me that it would not make sense for her if she's believed this for so long and put all of her love, time, and effort into it. I'm sure she's going to end up being a good unit. I don't really think that Kuro has released any horribly undertuned or bad feeling 5 stars yet. They all feel pretty good. Even the absolute worst limited 5 stars still feel good, and then the best ones feel insanely crazy. So I doubt that Phoebe's gonna be bad. She's certainly a character that I've had to warm up to over time, but I have grown to like her. I want her to gain some more story content for sure, and I hope to learn more about what she's like as a person and what she enjoys doing in her spare time. All that jazz. There's a lot of potential here for great character writing too, as she has a splendid setup that we can work with. I do hope that she can lead the Raganeses to a better religious future, assuming that she takes over the main religious dealings after everything is all said and done. Also, we're both blonde European women, so we gotta stick together. Super cute unit. Definitely let me know about your thoughts on Phoebe down below. Will you be pulling for her, or is she a skip? I'd love to know. As always, I have a ZZZ second channel. Head on over and subscribe if you're interested in some fun, silly ZZZ content. Hopefully this video was able to get you excited for Phoebe's upcoming release. This has been Juice, signing out. And is it strange to say that she kinda gives me Lily from Pokemon vibes, or does that make no sense at all?